Hello guys, we're ready for ELA 6th grade part 2. We're going to do the figurative language poem, The Dawn is Awake, or The Dawn's Awake. The dawn, not the dawn is awake, the dawn's awake. Okay. Alright, so we've already talked about, if you watch video lesson 1, we talked about similes, metaphors, idioms, hyperbole, and personification. Those are pretty much all of the things that we're going to, need to know for this one as well. So I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to read the questions, and you are going to complete the answer choices, okay? Let me make sure I have all the pages, because I thought there was more than one page. Nope, I think I'm good to go here. All right. All right, so The Dawn's Awake by Otto Leland Bohannon. Okay. The Dawn's Awake, a flash of smolderly... Let me start over. The Dawn's Awake, a flash of smoldering flame and fire ignites the east. Then higher, higher, o'er all the sky so gray, forlorn, the torch of gold is born. The dawn's awake, the dawn of 1,000 dreams and thrills, and music singing in the hills. A paean, which if we look at the definitions, it's a song of praise or triumph, of eternal spring. Voices, the new awakening. The dawn's awake, whispers of pent-up harmonies with the mingled fragrance of the trees. Faint snatches of half-forgotten song, fathers torn and numb, the boon of light we craved, awaited long, has come, has come. All right, one thing I didn't do, which we should have, because even though, you know, things are different, we still need to do the things that we normally do. So I didn't analyze the title. The Dawn's Awake, I would have thought something about the sun, like the sun rising. So I'm just gonna kind of go back and pretend like I did it. Okay, we already know that's a poem, so it's literary.
What's the story about, then?
Well, that's what I just did there. We're going to number our lines. We're going to number our lines because you're going to need it to answer some of your questions. You're going to need it to answer some of your questions. There's 17 lines. Remember, you can pause the video at any time if you need to pause so that you can get things done. We had a word in there that we had to look up. So you might want to circle that word and connect it to the definition. And then forlorn was also another word, but I skipped over it because I knew what it meant, but I forgot that you guys might need help with it. So I'm going to also draw to that one. There. Oh, that was just to show your work, but you're good. Just skip on to the next page. He's doing his work. I had him doing our work, but he has a lot of his own work, so Morgan's doing his own work. All right, so it would be a great idea to go through and circle and highlight all your idioms and all that, but you're going to end up doing it when you answer the questions, so,
yeah. Okay.
All right, number 1. Identify 2 examples of personification. Remember, personification is going to compare 2 things. It's going to make something like a human. All right, explain what is being personified and how in each example. We'll do one together and you're going to do the other one, okay? So I'm going to find one example of personification. All right. Let's see. Oh, the dawn's awake. Hello, the title. So I'm going to write down the dawn is awake, or the dawn's awake. The dawn's awake. Okay, so that's my first example. I numbered mine number 1. You could do the same. The dawn's awake. You shouldn't need any help spelling it because it's right here. All right, so how is it? It's comparing the dawn to waking up. Okay? It's comparing the dawn to waking up. Okay, now you need one more example. You're going to look for that on your own.
Bro, this is way too easy.
Okay.
They gave me easy one.
Number 2, identify an example of hyperbole. Remember, that's when something's hyper and excited and it's over exaggerates. Okay? There's only one example of that, so you're going to be looking for that on your own. Number 4, find 3 examples of imagery in the poem that access 3 different senses. So your senses are your sight, your smell, your taste, your hearing, and your touch. Okay? So we're going to look for at least one of those, and we're going to label it number 1. Okay. Let's see. Imagery, music, singing, in the hills. So we're gonna do music, or you can just put the line number, line 8, and it's music equals sound. Okay? So basically this is how you're gonna do that question. My paper cell. Okay. So, you'll put number 1 because you're going to do 3 of them. The line that you found it in and what it's doing, what image you're getting. Music, you're hearing it. It's sound. Okay? So you got 2 more that you need to find. Number 5, contrast the tone. Okay, the tone is like a feeling. Like, you know, sad or happy or excited. All right, so contrast the tone of this line. The father's torn and numb with the tone of the rest of the poem. How is this line different and why do you think it is? So you got like 2 questions you have to answer. First, how does it compare with the rest of the poem? Is it the same? Is it different? And how is it different? And then why? Why do you think if it's the same or different? All right, number 6. This poem was written by an African-American poet during the Harlem Renaissance. Okay, so it says you should know this. You should know what that means, but we probably don't. I would even need to look it up. You have cell phones. Some of you are lucky and you have Chromebooks or laptops or computers or whatever, even YouTube. If you have to look it up on YouTube, you can do that too. Look up the Harlem Renaissance first. Okay?
Or even go on your smart TV.
Yeah, you could do it on your smart TV. But look it up. Please don't interrupt. Thank you. Please don't interrupt. Thank you very much. Stay back because he's in his underwear.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I'm not joking. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so look up Harlem Renaissance so that you kind of know what was going on during the Harlem Renaissance. And knowing this, how might one interpret the dawn beyond its literal meaning? So that's kind of a fluffy question, a fluffy nutter question. It just means how would you analyze it knowing what was going on during the Harlem Renaissance? And Morgan, everybody just saw you in your underwear. Just thought I'd put that PSA out there. And what do you think the dawn represents? All right, so those are your 6 questions on that one. And that's it for that lesson. Pretty easy. I'm going to go into the idioms test next, and you'll be all done with your ELA for this week. How about that?